It's a Binge compilation. Can I get paid now?
You have an anxiety disorder.
It's actually called being a bunny, and it's perfectly normal and healthy for me to be like this. So shut up. Oh, look at him. He do swim. I just thought Tumblr would appreciate dragon babies.
I do, thank you.
Oh, no. The poor girl broke her favorite sitting basket.
That face. Regret. We are all going to be okay. I promise. Stingray blast.
The world is in peril, and people are hurting. But even so, we can take comfort in knowing we have a creature of wet slop.
Vocally grins.
You know, I love shrikes, because they're horrible little carnivores whose feeding habits are grim enough to earn the nickname Butcher Bird. But they look like this. Look at this. You would never know that it's a cold-blooded murderer.
Behold, 12-day-old Sphinx kitten. It's too precious for this world. I can't.
It's just a cute little wrinkle trying its best. Yeah, who up drinking day oida.
You fucking know it, baby! Thinkers.
So I was trying to take a picture of a cardinal on flight and, well...
You know, I'm minding my own business, and then I look over to see my cat doing this. She wants the alcohol. You have a problem, Sprinkles?
Me, I'm programming on my computer.
That's Mozilla herself.
It's fucking Windows.
Shh. Mr. Fish is very sensitive. It'll be okay, Mr. Fish.
Okay, suitcase. What's it doing there? I'll ever know.
I saw an adult German Shepherd that's diagnosed with dwarfism today, and it's... Excuse thing I saw here. Oh my god, he doesn't look real! I cannot get over this cat's fucking face. It's so round and conveying emotion that I simply am not equipped to understand. I was at this meeting. I met this cat. I forget his name, but he was so sweet. I think it was Councilman Clark who brought him in. This was at the very first meeting in Denver to decide whether to ban declawing, and the ban succeeded. Update, I emailed this post to Councilman Clark. Subject line, your kitty is famous. Update 2, Councilman Clark responded. He thinks this is awesome, and his cat's name is Kit Kat.
Thank you, Kit Kat, for protecting the cats of Denver.
I think the emotion on Kit Kat's face is democratic engagement. Chaotic good.
Frank Patton's Witness My Act and Deed, 1882.
Absolutely dying over the name of the painting. We have cats figured out since day fucking one. Some ancient Egyptian saw a cat knocking over canopic jars or something and said,
"This creature is a little bastard. I love it."
And we've basically agreed ever since.
Funny thing about herding and or generally neurotic breeds, they're really good at following rules you have instituted, but they will also make their own dog rules they will follow stringingly, whether or not you like it. Despite never being reprimanded for getting sick if my dog throws up, she will tattle on herself and run over to me, show me she threw up, then hide and start shaking uncontrollably. Nobody taught her to do this. She has decided on throwing up as a punishable offense until the end of time. He grew up with the Sheltie. Yes, he herded me to brush my teeth every night. He did not like me much and did not want to be touched 99% of the time. Anyone under 5 feet was a sheep and not a person. He tolerated children. He loved my mom and dad, though.
Archer recently made up a new rule, which is if he finds dropped food, he'll bring it over to show me to see if it's okay to eat it. He's very talented.
My dog has decided that it's solely on her shoulders to ensure that there is peace in my house. If the cats fight, she stands between them to break it up and or herds them away. If my rats have an argument, she goes to the cage door and barks until they stop. I'm not sure why she has decided she must carry the weight of the world, but she has.
Introducing a new alignment. Chaotic lawful. I have a strict moral code, but nobody can figure out what the hell it is.
Just spent so long prying my step-grandmother's locket open, and it was 100% worth it. Oh my god, look at him. Oh, they bullied him for his backpack.
They're mad he has one and they don't.
Well, he's too fucking late. My mom sent these to me from Facebook, and I think Tumblr deserves to see them too. Look at him, living his best life.
I believe in the incoherent goodness of people. Humanity need kindness. It must know kindness.
That is a raw line. Damn. Oh my god, look at him. It's the guide dog you're trading.
cutting his way to my heart. Me right now. She looks like an old Ukrainian woman who lost her son Dmitri in the war and now sits by the side of a weary road less traveled, selling potatoes for a very modest price. And I will buy every single potato that she has. Speaking of, someone clearly forgot how the dog, so he potatoed instead. Oh my god. Send him to the otter lady now. So we just got a puppy. This is not him. This is Santana, our 5-year-old golden retriever, who is not into sharing. What are you talking about? All I'm seeing is another puppy. She looks like the woman named Margaret who sits in front of the office and has like a Betty Boop calendar and is usually a little stressed out because no one ever puts the outgoing mail in the right place. And she's not really great with this whole Google Docs thing. Yeah, but she always remembers to like fill up the candy jar with peanut M&Ms and seasonal colors. When she finally retires, this whole place will fall apart probably. How specific? And yet I can see it. When you sneeze in front of your pet and they just look at you like you've offended their great ancestors.
Get your twit longer ready.
Behold, a pigeon that is fat. My god. I hate cats, they're so pretentious and stupid. Me.
Imanante ita.
Witness 222 golden retrievers gathering in Scotland. Their purpose is unknown. And likely sinister. Hey, yo, check out my dog. It comes with 2 subwoofers.
Oh, it's a forest puppy.
That is a deer?
He's a forest puppy. I'm not gonna fight you on this. It's a forest puppy. You know, owls may be a symbol of wisdom, but they're actually complete morons.
And finally, witness this puppy, for he scream. If I delete my art post, just know it's because I'm battling the hater in my head. It is me. I am the hater.
I will never understand all the vocabulary struggles Star Wars fan fiction writers talk about. What do you mean you can't use the idiom a dime a dozen because they don't have dimes in Star Wars? Just put the word space before it. A space dime a dozen. Bam. Skill issue.
Yeah, they're just letting anyone order a Happy Meal nowadays.
Well, I saw a sad person order one, and the employees jumped over the counter and poured hot oil all on him and shattered his ankles with spatulas.
Well, they're just letting almost anybody order a Happy Meal nowadays.
For you, Paige. Oh, no. We don't do that here. I mean, Tumblr, the app and website tries, but we don't do that here.
What the hell would I want to see it?
Peer review.
How do you get engagement?
By talking and engaging with other people, or making a devastating typo. Either way.
Right.
Listen, you're not doing solo stand-up anymore. This is a group improv class being held in a saw dungeon. Good luck.
I hate being the bigger person. Why can't I just say you're being mean to me and burst into tears dramatically? Can you take my white ass to Funky Town?
Nope, Torture City again.
Oh, come on. There was a time we respected the computer.
You know, I do feel like one single Sims 2 session here till the sun come ups could probably fix me.
Yeah. Never apologize for your bad puns about Greek gods.
I'm so angry. Show my blood places it's never seen before. 1, the world outside my body. 2, hospital.
If I am not disgustingly in love with at least one of the characters in any given piece of media, it is not for me. If I have no one to crawl and weep for, can't get into it. If there's not one single character that makes me want to bash my head through a wall and then write 10,000 fictional or academic words about them, then what is the point? Respectfully.
All right, Chad, fess up. Who does that for you? Say it.
Tall people, if we are walking together, please take into consideration my tiny legs. I can't keep up with you. Please think of my tiny legs. I don't want to be jogging to keep up with your leisurely stroll, you titans. Just get a single pair of roller skates and hang on to my sleeve. We don't have all day. Accept and support repulsed people. Or die by my blade. My girlfriend took me to see her parents the other day. Her mom's a doctor, so, to show my dominance, when I shook her hand, I pulled a surprise apple out of my jacket pocket and took a huge bite. I watched as he disintegrated in front of me. It took less than 4 seconds. Hey, have you tried going outside yet and smelling the air? There are ghouls out there, dude. Joint custody.
I think I can smoke this thing myself. Upon surveying the surge in activity here, I have found that good post is why people like my blog. For this reason, all the posts from here on will be bad. Oh, do I have unfortunate news for you? Perceive with your ocular vision a normal bird. Hi, Crow Teeth, you've been asked to stop. I was born with the gift of hands, and I'm going to make that everyone else's problem. Oh, look, fish hammer. For beating the carp out of someone. When she's been struggling with dyslexia her entire life, her billionaire CEO finds out and changes the font of all the paperwork in his company so it's easier for her to read. We're running out of scenarios, I fear. The book talk scenarios are now becoming ADA compliant? Let's bond over OSHA regulations. Together. Well, the other day I started writing an office romance, but I quickly remembered I have no idea what working in an office is like. As opposed to your vast personal expertise in romance. How do girls in girl groups not fall in love with their group members? Apparently, it's called being straight. I don't know. I don't really understand that way of life. Gender is confusing. Sexuality is confusing. Feelings are confusing. Everything's confusing. Including geometry. Especially geometry. Fuck geometry. Oh, the world is on fire, and I don't know whether to grab a hose or marshmallows. I'm just kidding. I'll get the hose. Friend who lives 100 miles away. I made food. Me. Can I have some? Friend who lives 100 miles away. Yes. At the ADHD wizard meeting. Sometimes I just find it difficult to hocus focus. Well, have you tried abracadabra? It's a material component for spells requiring concentration. Oh, my realms. If I walk into a Subway and ask them to make me a grilled cheese, you think they'd do it? Try phrasing it like American cheese on 6-inch Italian bread, toasted. Good news. Every time I think this post has died, someone brings it back and I'm forced to relive possibly the worst sandwich I've ever eaten. And now it's immortalized. Forever. Sorry for being weird and evasive. I was raised to believe that having wants and needs was a moral failing. It's about to happen again. Congratulations to Marcel Dungeon Meshi for achieving pathetic little man status on Tumblr. A hard glass ceiling for many female characters to break. I look forward to calling you my sopping wet beast and poor little meow meow for fandom days to come. Keep chucking, baby girl. You'll bag Phelan one day. Been selling spells on Etsy lately. $50 a pop, and I just send a customer a photo of a burnt candle. Thank you, mentally ill women. To all the lamers/haters out there, I only offer shitty spells, like for making people break up, lose jobs/money, get sick, etc. So all my customers deserve to get scammed. I'm a moneymancer, and my only real spell is summon dollar. See, look, I did it right there. Look at that. Hey, how's your whip going? Have you made any progress? How close are you to being done? Gimmick remover? Have you ever tried to battle a Lucifer? No. Post it with a fire?
The answer don't be Angelo. If they had.
They wouldn't be here. Oh, whoa.
Friend overheard me saying, yeah, he's kind of cute. Scared of him, though. And she was like, OMG, girl, who? And I was like, oh, sorry, I'm literally talking about a mouse that lives in my church. Perceive with your eyes spheres the common egg-eating snake, photographed by Christian Schneider. What's in the little creature's mouth? Is it tasty? Bestie, you will never guess what this common egg-eating snake is doing. Polycule, but it's just like two people in a romantic relationship with each other, and their third, who's pretty obviously Arrow Ace, but somehow so deeply intertwined in their lives that it'd just be wrong to not count them as involved. Is this anything?
Yes!
It's very important, vital even, to make silly noises when things happen, like cats. Why is this labeled commercial content? Are you selling me a cat? Purchase cat. They can show you the way. This video is sponsored to you by Cat. Those blogs that just screen cap other Tumblr posts on here are so funny to me.
Like, posts on this place have such a ridiculous longevity, it cannot have been that much more work to just reblog it. No, you can't do this to me.
Hi, yeah, it's me, the joke analyzer here, for those of you who don't understand the joke. This is a screen cap inside a Crying Mess 50s post that has now been submitted as a screenshot to me to read into this video. Okay.
Yo, vampire's weak as fuck. Just cross your arms, lol.
I can't imagine if that worked.
Parents got a new cat they named Lord Montague, and this morning I heard my dad in the other room say, "I would have to advise against that decision, my lord." Followed by a crashing sound. Blocked because your interpretation of that character doesn't match the way they act in my bedtime narrative I imagine when I'm falling asleep every night. Sorry. Opens fridge. Removes Tupperware container labeled pomegranates from land of the dead. Do not eat. I remove a second container labeled fairy apples. Do not eat. Autumn court. I approach the blender. You shouldn't eat that either. My beloved mutual, were you aware that you're the funniest person on the planet? Jacksepticeye Tumblr. Also Jacksepticeye Tumblr.
Do not blow this for us.
When Sean makes an appearance on Tumblr after 4 years.
Oh, I'm watching. Be on your very beat behavior, or so help me God. Ha! Now I edit it so you all look like fucking idiots.
Oh, he don't know about how edits work on Tumblr, do he? Having poor circulation is great because people will touch your hand and go, "Oh, you're so cold." And for a moment, you get to experience what it's like to be a vampire in a romance novel. Writing my diary using a glitter gel pen. I'm losing my sense of humanity. Also, Timmy's cute. I scare people lots because I walk very softly and they don't hear me enter rooms. So when they turn around and I'm just kind of there, their fear fuels me. Aren't you afraid you'll regret not having children? Will you regret not being a banker? I never wanted to be a banker. Right. You get it? I love Tumblr because the response to art in the tags is like, wow, this is great. Art. Cool art. Good art tag.
I want this painted on the inside of my eyeballs like the Sistine Chapel.
Cool art. I love it. Online posting is like military combat. And I'm the brave general, and you are all the foot soldiers fighting in the trenches. Trench! Trench. I'm sending you both on a mission into enemy territory, and I don't expect either of you to return. Peter Parker literally did not deserve that, and I'm not over it. This could be in reference to any event in Peter Parker's life, to be honest. Marvel, you leave my boy alone! I'm scared to ask them out, I said. Grow a pair, they said. So I did. The fuck do I do with this thing? Vampires don't live in castles. Count Dracula lived in a castle because he was a count, not because he was a vampire. This feels like a sensitivity training for how to not commit microaggressions against vampires in your workplace. Do you ever see your sibling and just have this overwhelming urge to smack them for no reason? Like, my brother will walk into the room and I'm just like, oh man, I just have to end you, here we go! Are you ready for some football? Anyone have that oil painting of the nun with the absolutely massive tits and it's painted like in a semi-classical style? Please help, I can't Google painting of a nun with huge tits because it's going to show me a lot of pictures and they're not the ones that I'm looking for. I swear, it looks something like this. I found it! It's Delicate Scene by Paul Lorenzi.
Fat tits none!
Yo, check out the Eggman with high blood pressure in the back, though. Today I learned that in 1949, a member of the New Zealand Parliament was deemed to have used unparliamentary language for saying of another member that his brains could resolve inside a peanut shell for 1,000 years without touching the sides. Well, it is pretty rude to just straight up kill a man in Parliament like that. Just tried to play an ancient flute and it started filling the room with this awful miasma that won't go away. Space alien archaeologist finding a flavored vape. Why does staff still allow people funnier than you to leave tags in your posts? They should have fixed that by now. This was my time, you thunder stealer. Well, look who it is, my old friend, the Countess of my Quinces. Do not 10K me, stop that. the consequences of their quences.
I couldn't find my headphones, and it's late at night. Solution: get a stethoscope and put it up to the speaker with the computer on low volume.
If I can't find my headphones, what makes you think I'm gonna find a stethoscope just fucking lying around?
This post was clearly dedicated to med students, not you.
Moves everything in your house an inch to the left, but also moves your house an inch to the right, so it cancels out. Yo, they did this to my buddy Jamiroquai.
How did Treasure Planet manage to come up with the greatest aesthetic in all of human history? Victorian elegance plus space age flair, with just enough dirt and grime and wear and tear to make it feel real? A combination of traditional and computer animation that perfectly embodies the movie's blend of old and futuristic? How does it get any better than that? Seriously, if you haven't seen Treasure Planet, go watch it. It's a very good movie. It's found family. It's good. It's very good. 10 out of 10.
Reminder that you aren't eating a grilled cheese with tomato soup right now.
So I've been playing a lot of Zelda lately, and I came to realize something. The Triforce, or the royal family crest, it's a triangle, right? And the Sheikah who swore to protect the Hyrule family have a symbol that's an eye. So when we put them together, we get... Look familiar?
I feel like I was tricked into reading this.
Playing Tears of the Kingdoms and thinking about my friend who was confused when our mutual pal said it was easier to find shrines at night since they glow. Friend was confused because he puts Link to bed every evening at 9 p.m. and has him rest till morning, regardless of where he is or what he's doing. Oh no, that gamer has a Pookie.
Nintendo, we gotta talk. Please, please stop making minimalist UI for your Zelda games. I want to go back to days like this, or this. I'll even take this, but please, please stop making me scroll through endless loops of squares just to get the one situational item I need for solving a puzzle. Please, I'm begging you.
I don't even know why they did it in the first place. It's not like you look at those menus and be like, what the hell do I do?
No, Princess Zelda does not have girl power. Princess Zelda has girl wisdom. Ganon has girl power. Don't defeat the Gloom Hands, just run. In the name of all that is holy, just run. Climb out of their reach if you can. I found saying no out loud repeatedly increasing in volumes also helps.
The very real image of Link, in full armor and Master Sword glowing, standing in the library of a debilitated Hyrule castle with dead Lizalfos at his feet, reading a recipe book and dog-earing the page for fruitcake which states that is Zelda's favorite. Big fan of the Gerudo woman who just sits up on the wall alone, away from everyone, and eats a watermelon out of an infinitely generating pile and tells you to fuck off if you try to talk to her. What a queen.
You want to know what's really funny? The whole rivalry between Link and Ganondorf is a direct result of Link beating Demise all the way back in Skyward Sword. This dude right here literally said to teenage Link,
"Curse upon you 1,000 timelines, motherfucker."
And now we have Link making contraptions and Zelda finally being the main protagonist. This fucker here is the reason we have Zelda CDI. Fish women want him.
So I went to Toys R Us that's going out of business to look for cheap video games the other day, and they're just all Rivali. None of the other champions, and you could see how few other amiibo are left on the left side of the first image. I did the math, and there's almost 200 fucking Rivalis here. Someone has done a mistake.
Can't believe Rivali took Toys R Us out of business. Fun piece of Twilight Princess lore I realize tends to get glazed over a lot.
Zelda gave her entire spirit to save Midna about halfway through the game so Midna wouldn't die to light exposure.
Midna and Link assume Zelda just died, but what's actually going on is Zelda's spirits is just
kind of hanging out inside Midna. Totally aware the whole time. And she even says after going back to her own body towards the end of the game that her and Midna were one and she knows everything. So while Link doesn't know Zelda well, Zelda has been unintentionally spying on him and Midna for months through Midna's eyes, unable to talk or interact. And I think that would be a fun dynamic to explore with them. I would like to write one day how their journey back to Castle Town would be like together after Midna left them stranded on top of a temple that has no easy way down. That door inside the boss room that leads back into the temple is locked. I checked. Ads that suddenly take up the whole page. Ads that suddenly take up the whole page and play music.
What about ads that play music but you can't find them anywhere on the page?
Still hearing the ads music after you close the page. Okay, so is there an explanation to why side characters in Zelda games are still around even though the games are sometimes 100+ years apart? Are they just tied to the same fate as Zelda or Link or even Epona? Like they just keep coming back when needed? If so, I want to see the ancient scroll that's like, to keep this realm in balance, you need courage, wisdom, and power to live in harmony. Also, you need Beetle the shopkeeper, as his prices are reasonable and he's a very friendly guy. Ah yes, the Triforces of wisdom, power, courage, and customer service.
See, it would go in the middle right there. You see that?
Yeah, Link must be downright terrifying for normal people in Hyrule to encounter. He's like a fucking heroic cryptid. Imagine it. Your village, region, kingdom is under attack by some monster or another, and out of the trees, this slender little twonk appears and immediately starts acting like he's gonna help. And you're skeptical, of course, because look at him! And when you find out he's basically a one-man army who just fucking wrecks the dragon, god, monster, etc., terrorizing your place before he breaks all the pots in town and disappears again. This shit must be wild.
Your village is a statue of Link that's built between his reincarnations, and people put clay pots around it as offering and thanks.
One day, some kid shows up breaking all your worship pots and runs off without saying any more than as they jump off a cliff into the forest below. You're confused as fuck, but your great-grandmother is weeping like she just saw God.
It's like if you met Jesus and he was a gremlin.
Watch every Zelda fan artist ignore Link being shorter than Zelda for the second game in a row. Well, they're about the same height. Zelda just has a tall boot heel.
I want to make the argument that she has heeled boots on.
Flat, no heel. Me when I'm in denial.
Well, she's close to the camera in that bottom photo, so she'll seem taller comparatively. I don't know if that matters, though.
There's something wrong with you people, I think. Link's courage comes from his inability to reach shelves.
Zelda can have short girl energy. It's just that Link is shorter.
Link, the mighty manlet.
Link being short is instrumental to his linkness. It is imperative that every Link is a manlet, and this must not be forgotten.
Why isn't there ship named Linda? We're just gonna ignore the fact that this guy, who in one incarnation was raised by a tree, cannot hold the tree pose.
I guess he forgot his roots.
Did you just...
Oh, I just thought of the most annoying buzzword possible. Fansplaining.
I don't even know what it is, and I already hate it.
See, when a fandom veteran is explaining how something in universe works to a newbie, or how someone's theory wouldn't work in canon, they aren't being helpful or clarifying or anything. They're fansplaining. Consider the following potential example. Fandom outsider. Aw, man, Nintendo wasted a perfectly good opportunity in Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker. Since it's a seafaring pirate adventure, they would have made the Master Sword into a cutlass.
Fandom veteran.
Well, that wouldn't work, since the Master Sword's never been shown before to change shape even beyond mere differences in artwork.
Oh my god, stop fansplaining to me, you toxic nerd! And scene.
Oh, I can see that going south so fast.
It's pointless arguing about which Link is the scrungliest, because they're all the scrungliest on different axes of a scrungle. Twilight Princess Link is scrungly in a serious fantasy protagonist trademark sort of way. His clothes and skin sporting an even coating of grime of no specific origin, forever slightly but noticeably damp, and inexplicably smelling faintly of used motor oil. Breath of the Wild Link is scrungly in a lives alone in the woods sort of way. Surprisingly well-groomed, because Hollywood stereotypes notwithstanding letting your hygiene slide into non-conducive into long-term wilderness survival, yet 100% prepared to catch a fish with his bare hands and eat it live and wriggling it in front of you. Wind Waker Link is scrungly in an unsupervised middle schooler sort of way. Charming enough from a distance, but you probably don't want to know what he's got in his pockets, and if you touched him, your hands would come away greasy. Why is he greasy? It's scrungle all the way down. And then there's Ocarina of Time Link. The scrungle that you assume is a very calm and sophisticated young man, but is stricken with the curse of still having the mental capacity of a 9-year-old.
My parents hate Overwatch because it takes up our entire Wi-Fi whenever my brother goes online. And when I bought myself the new Zelda, my mom was like, "Can I watch Netflix or are you playing?" And I was like, No, don't worry about it. It doesn't take up the internet. And she was so relieved and started walking towards the TV in her room. I was like, "You want to watch out here? I can switch to handheld mode." And she was so impressed that she could watch MasterChef next to me while I played my game. Nintendo is truly the family system.
Nintendo paid for this post.
Blizzard paid for that reply. Hey, yo, if you're an 8-foot Gerudo lady, hit me up. Remember in Breath of the Wild how there's like that one Gerudo girl crying in the bar because her boyfriend dumped her for being too tall? And she cries, "What's that supposed to mean? I'm only 8 feet tall." Like, what the fuck? I'm gonna find that dude and he's gonna catch these hands. Anyway, if you're 8 feet tall, DM me. The way she says only implies 8 feet is below average for Gerudo height. Well, in the Hyrule Historia, Ganondorf is stated to be 7'6". So with this in mind, we know that Ganondorf, the Demon King, the Prince of Darkness, is very short for a Gerudo. Ganon turned evil because he was a meddler. Oh man, all these AI things are coming to take my friends, my family, and everything I love, and all of my creativity. I just want a symbol of artificial intelligence that's tiny and adorable and wouldn't try to steal everything about me.
Hey, yo, I heard everything you said.
And boy, do I got the thing for you. Feast your eyes on this. It is the legendary Azuri plush.
Or Robot Sienna if you're a fucking boomer.
Look at this tiny, adorable form. You could pick it up and you could hold it and you could hug it forever. And you don't have to worry about the artificial intelligence part because it's a plush. There's no wires. It's just cotton and love. Maybe a little bit of spirit in it. You don't know, but it's not going to steal your stuff. You want one of these? You hop on makeshift.com and get this plush right here. We got a good campaign going on right for it. You get for $29.99.
Plus shipping and handling.
You could buy one and you bring it to campus with you and be like, "Check this out, dude, bros. I got my own artificial intelligence. It doesn't need my social security number to exist." And be like, "Oh man, I should have not given critical thinkers all of my money and all of my identity so I could make funny generated AI pictures. Oh." At least I have you, artificially generated Mega Man with 9 fingers on one hand for some reason. You still listening to this rambling? Go get the plush right now. What are you doing? Go!
It's me, boy. I'm the rugby acting blue. I'm inside your brain. Hey, why is everyone talking? This is Animorphs.
Was this not intentionally about Animorphs? What was it about?
The nature of humanity is just that every so often someone accidentally invents
Animorphs
again.
You know, you don't go mad from seeing the incomprehensible. You go mad from briefly comprehending it. People, especially in games and media, often misinterpret Eldritch madness, which is honestly a shame. True madness isn't just seeing something unfamiliar. It's understanding something you were never meant to. Take an ant, for example. If it stumbles upon a circuit board, it doesn't start rambling incoherently in fear. To the ant, the board is just a landscape of strange angles and humming monoliths. It might feel uneasy, but that is not madness. True madness is when, for just a moment, the ant can see as a human does. It suddenly understands symbols, realizes markings carry meaning, something more complex than pheromones. It sees concepts like love, regret, humor, ideas beyond its comprehension. Then, it's just an ant again. But now it remembers. Echoes of what it can no longer grasp swirl in its mind. It cannot use this knowledge, yet it cannot forget. The more it saw, the harder it is to go back. It needs to see it again. To understand again. Nothing else in its tiny, tiny world matters anymore. So yeah, write that down. Okay, so before someone you love starts info dumping, most blessed feeling in the world. Reblog to let your mutuals know that they can always give you the okay so, and you will listen. Is character intended to be this identity? Can be a difficult question to give a simple yes or no answer to, not because writers are hedging their bets, but because very often the actual answer is character is modeled after several people I know in real life, some of whom might well be identity, but frankly, if they are, it's none of my damn business.
18 plus accounts? Well, that's quite a lot.
You do numbers on Tumblr? Girl, I am on Tumblr, and the numbers? 4. But babes, I said 4. My lad's 4. 4. This isn't 4. I said 4. This is not. Well, you didn't give me 4. I wanted 4. They should invent a January that doesn't make you go through every emotion known to mankind every day. I call it January. You just add more Y's. It'll make you feel better.
Notes. If God is displeased with my work, then why hasn't he stopped me?
Hold on. I think my frontal lobe just developed.
One time I dreamt that the main U.S. currency was cheese after eggs broke the economy.
Oh god, Apollo is side-eyeing this one.
He sends his apologies. I spread pro-glasses propaganda. Glasses are hot. Glasses are cool. Glasses will help you see boobs. Guys or girls, it doesn't matter. They help you see them.
By the way, goblins and kobolds talk to each other through a complex interwoven network of cups and strings. If you even care. They're gossiping about you, by the way.
Bro, that's this place.
Okay, listen. Surely I will not be consumed by my interest this time. By Talos, this can't be happening. As much as I understand being a hater, you have to offset that shit with genuine, sincere enjoyment and wonder sometimes, lest you become the one who is corny and sad, in my opinion. Where's your fucking whimsy, jackass? Your comprehension? Compassion, all right? Post-editing here. I get it. I fucked up the first time. I understand. It's done. The joke is done. I see the irony. I fucking get it. Okay. Is it only irony and judgment 24/7 for you? Boo! Hey, what's the matter? What's the matter, Craig? You don't like fun and whimsy? Someone dressed up as Legolas fuck your wife? You have a little bit of got a little bit of a kink there, do you? Maybe you're kind of closeting? Maybe? Sometimes I think I'm normal. Then I remember the OCX canon whip file that I have of one of my OC ship with the damn principle for Poly basics. Well, why don't you just? The answer is either money or anxiety.
Or the Bone Pharaoh.
90% of the time it's money.
10% of the time it's the Bone Pharaoh.
Why are you trying to make the Bone Pharaoh work?
Has anyone figured out how much art you need to make your mental illness go away?
Has anyone figured out how much you need to make your mental illness go away, Lou?
Thank you. This is not good at all. Jurassic Park has a good philosophical message, but unfortunately, the only thing I ever take away from watching Jurassic Park is, God, I wish I could go to Jurassic Park. Like, yeah, it's blatantly obvious don't create the Torment Nexus scenario, but this Torment Nexus is delicious. I mean, yeah, I would totally go. Oh, thank God. Wait. Enhance image. God, I love speedrunners. To those asking, welcome to Restaurant Percent, where you help Ganondorf rebuild his life as a humble restaurant owner by building a restaurant around him as fast as possible without getting murked.
Finally, a fun way to play Tears of the Kingdom.
I'm just kidding. It was a great game. I love it when dudes are like, question everything. Be critical about the world. And what they mean is, I think politics is controlled by evil wizards. Love is fake. Focus all your love energy on Hatsune Miku. Goodbye. Oh, I don't hate pineapple on pizza. I just disagree with your lifestyle. You can eat whatever pizza you want behind closed doors, but don't put that shit in front of my kids. Oh, so when the final boss's phase transitions, gamers love it. But when I, a trans woman, stop. I support every trans woman's rights to have their health bar dramatically refilled, accompanied by flashy VFX and the name above their HP bar changing. You deserve it, Queen. Go off. Imagine caring so much about fiction. Imagine being so lame that you scoff at the timeless human practice of falling in love with art and stories. Well, look who it is. It's Greg the Legolas hater again. How you doing? Still fucking your wife? One time I dreamt the creator of Bluey announced he helped write the screenplay of Ice Age 6. He also publicly admitted it was one of the worst experiences of his life and he only did it for the money. You know, I stumble across your posts regularly, yet I genuinely believe this one for a solid minute. Speaking from the heart, no. I am, however, speaking from the amulet, which I am sure you will agree is much better. Chinchillas are fascinating creatures.
They look like they have to stop every 5 seconds to give their brain time to process their next action.
They are creatures that suffer from real-life turn-based strategy.
Earth is currently at the stage that leads into either Star Trek or Mad Max. Astute observers will recall that in Star Trek, Earth was Mad Max for several years before becoming Star Trek. I feel a sudden bloom of hope inside me.
This is the most hopefully thing I've read this week.
Meanwhile, now I'm just imagining Data putting spray paint over his face and going, "Witness me."
What we see, and what humans see.
Oh, Opie? Who's we? Who the fuck is we? Opie? Who's we? Hey, go grab the Azuri plush right now. We're at 63 out of 200, at least at the time of making this video. You better go snag it if you want to see more things.
Are toucans a bird of prey?
No.
What if you are a fruit or perhaps a berry?
POV. You are a fruit or perhaps a berry. Whoa! I just remembered I had my very own skeleton under all this flesh.
Not for long.
This is honestly one of the posts on this website. Sure is.
Attention, users of Tumblr. I exist. That is all. You may return to your previously scheduled suffering.
Philadelphia if the Eagles lost.
The Eagles win. Philadelphia anyways.
See, this right here is an example of context clues. This is the world is on fire / derogatory, and the bottom is the world is on fire / affectionately.
Writing prompt. We have your son.
Oh, my condolences. Please try to die quickly. His dinner's almost ready.
Who's on the phone, Alfred?
Asked Bruce as the butler hung up on the phone. Just Master Damien. He will be a little late to dinner. Alfred lied as he went back to the kitchen.
They need to invent the opposite of an NDA called an FDA, where you have to tell everyone everything.
Subpoena.
Tumblr. Alcohol.
War Thunder forums. Survived checking my bank account. I deserve a little treat. This had better not alter the numbers in my bank account. By Talos, this can't be happening.
Big bald eagles, excuse the number one. I can't seem to remove it from the...
Received this incomprehensible email from my ornithology professor.
The fucking eagles got him. They're putting chemicals in the fire that turn the freaking swords gay!
I just thought this was really funny. This fucking cross-ass looking sword over here. You want to give that to Glenn?
Huh, this is how I win. Loses.
Maybe this time picking your textures on my skin will lead to it being silky smooth, bleeding. Ow. Good idea. Marry a blacksmith so you get free swords whenever.
Better idea. Become a miner and then marry a blacksmith so he can have the required materials for you to get free swords whenever. Make a harem and marry a full production chain. Ah, monopolygamy.
I mean, if your harem is full of blacksmiths, would that make it a polyamorous relationship?
You can make a whole polyarmory.
Angels probably wouldn't wear clothes. To explain, in Genesis, human beings start out not wearing clothes. God is caught off guard when Adam and Eve start covering themselves. This implies that in a pure state, clothes aren't necessary. Therefore, why would angels have clothes? Also, can you imagine designing clothes for a biblically accurate cherubim? And even a seraphim would be tricky, since you need to account for like 6 wings. In conclusions, angels are notice. It's probably why the angels end up saying, "Be not afraid," because you were looking at 6 weenuses at the same time. Being autistic and meeting someone with ADHD is like, oh, you're like me, but fast.
Best trait you can give a tall and imposing character is easily flustered. I don't care how many people they've bested in combat. Someone cute flirting with them should be enough to make them go,
Goofy, no, no.
please do not the cat.
Oh my god, they're eating the cat! 23 is the correct number of stab wounds. Why what this means? Oh, I have 23 stab wounds in me, huh?
Yeah, bad news for chocolate lovers. Amid massive corporate downsizing, Lent had to euthanize 20,000 of its handsome European chocolate chefs. An additional 1,300 will be thrown out in the cold with nothing but their stupid fucking whisks.
You know the things fandoms do where they take a character, usually the protagonist, and... You know what I'm talking about. It's okay, you can just say Undertale.
Undertale's literally done like every AU. There probably could just be one where everything's the same except Sans' hoodie is pink. Don't even ask why, it just is.
I love when I'm writing a scene heavily focused on characters, drives, and fears, and suddenly something clicks and it's like, you've unlocked a new backstory. Yeah.
My family usually eats bagged cereals, you know, the off-brand kinds that taste like deceit. And today my mother came home with 15 plus boxes of sugar name brand cereal, dumped them into my arms and said, "I can't eat lies anymore, Caroline."
I call bullshit on your cereal post.
Oh, sweet dingus, that's a lie.
A tired mime on break, leaning against nothing and smoking an invisible cigarette. Yeah. Mutual just posted,
Okay, I'm normal now.
objective. Survive the reverse chronological dashboard breakdown. Wave 1 of 30.
Good luck, soldier. You know, days keep happening to me. And nights also. No seeing it whatsoever.
What is your problem?
Several. Thanks for asking. Where do you want me to fucking start?
Sweet treats should not cost money. They should come as a complimentary gift for not giving up. Please?
My skeleton is full of closets. The closets are filled with bi-lesbians, by the way.
What are they full of?
Closets.
What are those filled with?
Real pronouns.
Do those have anything in them?
Closets.
I didn't learn about this in driving school.
Stop, says the red light. Go, says the green. Wait, says the yellow light twinkling in between.
Neo says the demon light with its eyes of coal, so knows your license plate and stares into your soul.
This is always fucking funny.
I've only seen those legendary posts and screenshots.
What I've learned in boarding school today is...
I think Venus flytraps should be intelligent and ambulatory. I think they should get into the cupboards. I think they should purr when you pet them. OP, there is an entire Broadway musical explaining why you don't want that.
OP, there is a furry mammal version of the Venus flytrap you can try. Also catches and kills and sometimes eat bugs.
There's a Broadway musical about them, too. Go see the musical, though, not the movie. Don't.
Instead of worrying about whether or not you're scaring the hoes, why don't you find some hoes that don't get scared? Brave hoes. Indomitable hoes. My hoes have a warrior's spirit.
That is some genuine early 2000s humor.
The only piece of history that is not better than right now is anything less than 10 years ago, which is the worst time ever, except for now. Only a niche subset out of fashion people enjoy less than 10 years ago, until it becomes 10 years or more ago, when it has an ironic appreciation in the culture. When it becomes 20 years ago, it was always awesome and better than now, which is the worst time ever, except for maybe less than 10 years ago. My brain hurts. I get it, but my brain hurts. I just found out my very white British mother doesn't season anything with salt. She doesn't salinate cooking water for pasta, never fries with some salt. I now realize why my cooking tastes much better. I actually use seasonings. I'm at the BDSM club painting tunnels on the wall for my sub to run into. He's like a goddamn Looney Tunes character. Prophecy class canceled due to foreseen circumstances. Wow. I left my Vaporeon alone for a few hours. Now he's got 3 bodyguards backing him up. Those are his backup dancers. Aquatic Glamour Twink and the Muscle Daddies.
Hello, it is me, Helium. I am a noble gas.
Noble? Wait. This is funny. This humor is so fucking advanced, yet so fucking simple at the same time. Willy Wonka's little tricks wouldn't work on me, because I'm not 9 years old. I'm not going onto the factory floor during a tour. That's insane. Everyone else brought a chaperone. Well, I brought my brother, and we pre-gamed.
Willy Wonka would slyly take you to a back room where he has rum balls that are 101% alcohol while being gentle and sweet, and you would fold like an origami crane.
Well, maybe. But if Willy Wonka took me to a back room, I'd do some other stuff in there, too.
I mean, the Gene Wilder Willy Wonka can fucking get it.
Sorry that you think my fictional ship is illegal. I actually consulted a fictional lawyer about it, and we had to talk with a fictional cop about the fictional laws, and then they both looked at me and very seriously said,
We'll allow it, because it's hot.
"So fuck you."
My favorite translator said that when she was an ambassador for Hungary, she took all the Japanese politicians on a tour, and she was trying to circumtranslate merry-go-round because she didn't know the Japanese word for it by calling it a horse tornado for children. And they had no blessed idea what she was saying. And she finally started running in circles, going up and down, and they go, "Oh, in Japan we call those merry-go-rounds."
Hold on, I have to check.
Well, I'll be. It really is called merry-go-round.
Wait, isn't NSFW the letters on the compass?
Ooh, so close.
North, south, fuck! West. If you excuse me, my compass is pointing in a certain direction.
It's west. Went to the aquarium the other week, and hand to God, every single seahorse was pregnant. It was like AO3 in there.
Stop speaking like you're superior! Do you know how much more agile your brain is when you're bisexual? Bilingual! I don't even need the flaming text to do this joke.
Sexuality typo.
You teed your last he. Any last words?
Tea.
For when people get angry at you for liking snakes.
That is the cutest snake!
I am my own blankie.
You sure are, buddy. You sure are. My new sex with an elf potion sold 1 elfillion units.
Wow, that's crazy. I'm happy for you, bro. I'm sure they went to very, very valuable customers. What I miss about Tumblr is that you could tell how your friends felt without having to talk to them.
I miss Tumblr so much. It died after they started censoring everything.
Yeah, I know. A piece of me died back then.
Something about reposting back-to-back emo poems at 3 a.m. on Tumblr is nostalgic. I feel like someone is standing next to me talking about how I'm dead.
My coworker asked me a question about queer culture the other day, and it was a really good question, but I couldn't think of a polite way to tell him that they didn't have the foundational knowledge required to support full comprehension of the answer.
So why do some people say they're bisexual and other people say they're pansexual? They sound like the same thing.
Do you want the real answer, the answer that will make sense to you?
I guess the real answer.
Do you have 3 hours and a notepad?
No.
The flags are different. If you want, like, a Cliff Note version, and this could still spark some debate, but for the life of me, I don't have the energy for it. To me, as a pansexual person, the major difference is bisexuality means that you have attraction to more than one gender, but there's likely a stopping point. Where pansexuality is you can be attracted to someone regardless of whatever gender that they might be. But you guys are free to discuss that in the comments. I mean, it's an interesting topic.
Werewolf transforming. You have to go. Now. I don't want you to see me like this.
Don't push me away. I'm not afraid of you.
No. I'm just really dumb as a wolf, and I don't want to have you see me bark at the mirror for 2 hours. Werewolf after waking up the next morning. I'm going to kill you.
Is it because I threw?
Yes, it's because you threw the stick, but really just hit it behind your back. Ugh. May you sleep on the breast of your tender woman companion. Sappho, circa 600 BC.
Get you a girlfriend. Nap on her titty.
Over 2.5 millennia later, and lesbians is still the same.
Hey, kids, you want a tarot card reading?
These are Pokemon cards.
You get a Bidoof. It means fuck you.
Big fan of 1 William as a quantity. Keep it up. Makes me think of the mysterious William coin I received in the mail recently. Behold, 1 William. Holy shit, you found it. $1 William?
We as a society have not made fun of karaoke enough for throwing a water bottle at Groudon in Journeys.
Throws my leftover Dasani at the personification of the land itself.
Gonna stop you right there. Your lead boy Ash tried to punch a fucking biological mutant clone of God.
Well, one of the gods. Pokemon's got some weird lore. Puts hand on your shoulder. It's okay, don't cry. I know what it feels like to get run over by a car 1,000,000 times. Forwards and backwards. Until you get really flat and don't have any blood left. I don't care if that's not what you're going through. I just wanted to say something crazy. Can I have a few dollars from your wallet?
Just so you know, OP of that poster reblogged believes the better world is possible. Yeah, big oof. Ooh, yikes. Yikes-a-ronies. The San Francisco problem.
Friendly reminder that he
What?
Sure is.
doing numblers on Tumblr. It says the title of the video.
An important message from Duolingo.
It is with heavy hearts that we must inform you that Duo, formerly known as the Duolingo Owl, is dead. If I ever find myself in a PM Seymour video, I actually think I will perish.
Seymour, tell me you didn't! Guys, I'm sorry! It was a joke! No!
What's really funny about that post is, like, my account on Tumblr got, like, disabled for a while. I don't know if it was a glitch, but it's like an hour after I posted that, my Tumblr account was just gone. It's back now, but Jesus.
Dinosaurs are like the coolest thing possible for a child to learn about. It's like, hey, I know you were just born, but like giant monsters are real. They fought each other in wars for like a billion years, and then they blew up when the sky exploded.
Wow.
You didn't say the actual number, PM.
Shut up talking about dinosaurs!
Behold the goat cat.
A coat. A gat.
A friend.
Oh, you don't touch this bitch for 1 day, and then the spiders just start living lavish.
Oh no, I'm surrounded by the horrors. I'm surrounded by the horrors in this spooky cabin in the middle of the woods. It would be a shame if the horrors held my hand, or if the horrors kissed me on the cheek. It'd be such a shame.
I think if you put someone from 2005 onto a website from 2025 without the slow creep we've lived through, they think they had malware.
I don't like the realization of this. In light of the recent surge of ChatGPT written posts, I've instead set my sights on another form of generative technology. The humble 8-ball. Check this out. No.
Flawless writing. Hey, sexy. I can tell by the frequency of your blog updates that you are, once again, avoiding it all. You want to talk about it, Pookie? You know, people talk about how hard long-distance relationships are, but nobody talks about the struggles of long-distance friendships. I would give my left leg right now to just be able to sit in our PJs and watch movies, or just to be able to give a big fucking hug. My God, they're so right. In 1561, an innkeeper named Hugh Draper was imprisoned in the Tower of London for sorcery. Whilst incarcerated, he made these carvings in the walls which displayed astrological symbols and numbers.
Hugh, this is not helping you beat the sorcery charges.
Counter-defense! Sorcerers don't need to worry about astrological signs or anything like that because they're sorcerers! They're born with the gift of magic. Now wizards, however, had to ban the phrase tricky dick from my classroom during Watergate lesson because saying the word dick in front of 30 15-year-olds is like lighting a bomb and throwing it into the doorway. But right now, they're just calling him Richard the Treacherous like they're all medieval peasants. I'm gonna lose it! I took my nephew and niece to their first medieval event when they were like 5 and 7. They each picked out a heavy and a rapier fighter to cheer on. We'd made favors for them to give as part of the plan to keep little kids entertained, trademark. They interpreted this to mean that they were to look after these fighters and spent the remainder of the day taking them water and sharing goldfish crackers with them. You don't know happiness until you see a little kid hand a night and Uncrustable and have him devour it gratefully. Congrats, your children reinvented Squires. Probably bad RPG ideas. A book filled with information about different types of cat breeds, all of which can be summoned by going to a page and saying pss, 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 pss. The book is known as the Necronomicon. I'd buy it. Mutuals are people you want to eat bread dipped in olive oil with. Companion, Middle English. From the Old French compagnon, literally one who breaks bread with another, based on Latin com, together with, plus panis, bread.
Yes, you break on my bread till I come with my panis.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Hello, humiliation fetishists. Just want to let you know that your fetish is so normal and that there's nothing to be embarrassed about.
That picture won't load, but I swear to God, if it's that picture of the Joker on the phone!
Oh, to be a bored prince who keeps rejecting marriage proposals due to secretly being in love with the cute gardener boy. Oh, to be a cute gardener boy who secretly places roses in the prince's room because he is in love with him.
Oh, to be a palace guard who discreetly helps to boost the cute gardener boy up the wall for his secret deliveries in the middle of the night.
Where the goddamn hell is this book? I want to read it.
Eat the moon, dude. Eat the moon. You gotta eat the moon. I don't gotta explain anything. Your objective could not be more clear. Get up and eat the moon. Go, 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 go. You've always wanted to eat the moon. Go, 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 go.
Guys, I'm starting to think Tumblr user I am a fish is secretly Bakunawa, the mood-eating dragon.
All those terms when you don't really like something but someone else does and you respect that. You've heard of not my cup of tea and whatever floats your boat. And now it's time for this phrase to shine. Not my favorite hentai of Pennywise, but okay. Lars, all due respect, but no the fuck it isn't. Sounds like this one just isn't your favorite hentai of Pennywise, and that's okay.
One time I dreamt someone called me and asked, "Why are you running from yourself?" while heavy breathing. Ooh, don't like that one. Friendly reminder that you should write that fic. You should draw your OCs. You should redesign that Borbo. You should plan that comic how you want. You should create the content you want to see. You should be cringe, and you should be free. The only thing that matters is you having fun, not what others think. Let's unlearn shame together. You know, getting laid is very hot and sexy. Getting off, well, great news as well. So you would think getting laid off would be wonderful news for your penis. But alas, I love listening to music and imagining things happening. It's so good. Girl, help, I'm undergoing mitosis. Girl, help, we are undergoing mitosis. Girl, help! Yeah, you're right. It would be pretty fucked up if you were a swan, but you were raised by ducks and you grew up to never seeing another swan or not even knowing that such a thing as a swan even existed. So you just thought you were a duck with something super wrong with it.
Autism. Trans moments.
Kung Fu Panda? It's weird how everyone hating you when you're 9 years old still affects your self-esteem when you're like 26. Like, yeah, nobody came to my birthday party, but that was like 17 years ago. Why is it stopping me from going to a gay bar? The human brain needs the ability to be recalibrated faster. Yeah, we've been doing the healing process for like 6 or 7 years, but naked snappy now. Come on, hurry up! And it's so weird how adults used to always say, "You're a kid, you'll get over it." But it's like, no, actually. Dio, his long-ass nails tapping on the screen of his gaudy rose gold iPhone.
Giorno, look at this thing I found on Pinterest.
He would be that dad, wouldn't he? You know, if you took away the evil aspirations and the vampirism and like all the things that made him a really good JoJo villain, now he's just a pooky dad.
Bunnies who wear pants.
Stylish. Me standing in front of the court for the Duolingo murder. First off, I would ask the jury to consider that I am just a little guy.
I am permanently going to stay the biggest hater about American football as a sport. It's maddening that this shit is still considered acceptable. Introducing my new sport, wall bashing, where you bash your head against the wall until you suffer permanent brain damage. Whoever survives get the chance to win millions and millions of dollars. Ignore all the people who fell over dead without even qualifying for the wall bashing semifinals. This is actually really inspirational if you think about it. Literally anyone can make it if they just wall bash hard enough.
You know, I didn't really have a problem with football until you kind of put it like that.
Creators of Sonic 3 really said, we can't put Stobotnik in the movie or the homophobe parents will cry out for their children's innocent eyes now forever scorned by gay content. So we're putting them all in the deleted scenes. What are they going to do? Tell us to delete them?
And if they tell you to do so, follow genie logic. You're undoing the delete, so therefore, it goes back in the movie, baby!
Does anyone want to play cards with me?
You have a joke about myth, but
I'm too squared to say it. Too square, guys. Too square! Probably bad RPG ideas. Enough of villains who are responsible for your tragic backstory. I'm responsible for your tragic forestory. Come here.
You know, apparently when you don't have a crystal ball, a bag of marbles works as a substitute for several smaller prophecies.
Who knew?
I don't know what kind of animal that is, so I'm gonna call it a puggle wuggle.
It looks like a Malamute pup to me. They're ridiculously floofy. No, shut up! It's a puggle wuggle. You heard of chicken fingers, but I present to you the chicken hand! Instead of a stick of ground chicken fried, you take a chicken breast, flatten it, make 4 cuts, bread it, and fry it to resemble a whole hand!
Shit, I want to try that now.
Well, I just realized it's called deodorant because it deodors you, like it takes away your odor, and you're an ant.
You sure about the ant part?
Yeah, otherwise they call it deodor. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. You're unreliable narrator, fucking Batman. That's not how they told it.
I should try a cartwheel. Just woke up on the floor. What happened?
Nothing happened. Hey, you should try a cartwheel.
Dude, you're so right. I haven't done one in ages. Let me try a cartwheel. I think I'm safe from PM. Oh, Crow Gal, I'm so sorry. Your friend has betrayed you.
The Joker without makeup.
You know, that's really disrespectful. He was clearly injured in some sort of way, may it be war or what have you. He's probably so depressed his face is scarred like this. He has to wake up every day seeing his own face. Why would you make fun of him like this? Seriously, anyone who would make fun of this is just awful. I actually think he's still more attractive than like half the guys out there, even with his face like this.
You do realize that this is literally the Joker without makeup. This is Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight in a scene where he's hiding in a group of policemen. That's actually the Joker. That's him. It wasn't a goof.
The idea of consuming two conflicting things that promise to do the opposite of each other has always been hilarious to me. There's a liquid shot-based sleep aid called 6 Hour Sleep, and as soon as I saw it, I immediately imagined mixing it and a 5-hour energy drink together for a 1-hour nap.
Mix NyQuil and DayQuil to create
Quill.
What does Quill do? All the time? All the time. I don't remember much from middle school. Mainly just the green haze.
What?
Green haze.
Oh, thank God I'm not the only one. Though my haze was blue.
Fucking private schoolers.
Fucking around. We'll see what I find out.
My spine! My spine!
Writing prompt. Oh boy, it sure would suck if the Fae took me, cried the man banging pots and pans together in the middle of a mushroom circle. Found the fairy lover.
I cast extremely slow internet.
You son of a bitch.
I got duped by a triangle. Wait, what's Gravity Falls? I was on about a hidden traffic light sign on a country road that led me to driving through a red light in the middle of nowhere and getting a fine. Why are people talking about Doritos? You ever notice how a washing machine 10 minutes is actually about 17 minutes human time?
Yeah, it's weird.
Under my regime there will be no regime. I will overthrow my own ass.
I think I maybe missed the birds and the bees talk after all. I don't remember this part.
Oh, that's the Hawks and Hornets discussion. The more advanced version that covers kinks. Please don't try to hurt me. I have incredible range.
Silence, little alto boy.
We need a cuteness aggression equivalent term for when you see art of your favorite character you like so much that you sincerely cannot think of anything to put in the tags that isn't,
I'm going to start biting off my own fingers.
Pooky primal urges. Yeah. The masculine connotation of a bow tie and the feminine connotation of a bow on top of the head implies a non-binary bow style placed directly over the nose.
What do it mean when everything should do make you smile?
Ooh, you got caught up in some shit, bro. You in love. He didn't survive. I had this dreadful realization that both of these nuts is actually a fantastic Star Wars name. Oh no, of course. He's a jazz musician. Why is France called a hexagon when it's abundantly clear that it's a pentagon? What? I mean, I guess I was definitely seeing 1 and 2 as one side, plus the left and the right slopes out more. Yeah, to be honest, I see how you can see 1 and 2 as one side. Actually, it's a decagon. This reads like a post with 100K notes. Reblock. Careful, Apollo might hear you.
Okay, but if we're being really pedantic, it's a triacontachi pentagon.
35 sides.
Oh, Tumblr accidentally rediscovers the coastline paradox.
Well, actually, it's more of a hectachi triacontachi pentagon. 135-sided polygon. My French teacher is crying. Please stop walking along the borders of France and trying to figure out how many sides there is. She's just trying to teach. If my doctor's name was House, I would want to know his first name before he does any surgery on me. What if it's Haunted? First name Haunted, last name House. Prescribe that patient bites from mouse. Do you not like 21 Pilots? The fact that you took the time to put the slashes in the O's tells me that this is probably not a conversation we should have. Guess you could say the answer might leave them stressed out. Goes to egg your house, but I find out you're vegan, so I 1/4 cup of unsweetened applesauce your house instead.
Okay, I hear you, but that's not going to work. As always, when you're thinking of vegan egg substitutes, it's important to think about the purpose of the egg in your recipe. Eggs are used in this recipe because they smell gross and don't come off easy, due to their tendency to harden or cook in the sun. This is not a situation for applesauce, which will come off in a light rain. While unconventional, the substitute you're looking for here is sourdough starter. It's goopy, it smells atrocious in the hot sun, and it'll harden onto the walls like cement. If you try to get it off with water, you'll just end up with a sticky dough. Just make sure to respectfully ask your target if they have a gluten allergy before doing this. We want to trade one evil for another.
I think some of you don't like narratives or stories or characters. I think you just like fanfiction tropes. The protagonists can and will be sexist, racist, insensitive, cruel, stupid, etc., especially towards the beginning of a story. These are called character flaws, and they are a surprise tool that will lead to a narrative fulfillment later. And sometimes narrative fulfillment doesn't mean the character overcomes their flaws or even the anti-hero is punished for their flaws. Sometimes it means the narrative says,
Wow, was that fucked up or what? Anyway, I'm Rod Sterling.
Also, just a friendly reminder, sometimes your protagonist of the story is not always the good guy. Sometimes they're just the sick son of a bitch we're following the story along with. You know, every character you're obsessed with started as an OC in someone's brain.
I mean, yeah, if they're the creator of the game or the show or the story, that's their character. That is their OC. That's not an eye-opener. That's just real.
Can I get to know you more? No, you may not. Today I learned goats have accents and can't understand goats from foreign countries because their accents are different. I can't believe God divided goats also. What did they do?
Well, Tumblr user Brands Ref, how much do you know about Christianity symbolism?
Ugh, it's been a long week. Someone pass me an image of the character.
Hand over the blowbo, now.
Mom said it's my turn with the guy from the show.
Sorry, I can't get on board with Blorbo. I ride or die with Pookie.
I answered an ask earlier today thinking it would do numbers, and by God, the numbers! 7.
This only has 0 notes. It's time to invest.
Dude, stop bouncing your leg.
Bro, it's either this or I start screaming.
Pakicha, I was under the impression you were a woman for years. Oh, I must have seemed a radiant goddess in your eyes.
Your ego truly is boundless.
Thank you so much.
So fucking evil, I don't have jagged point cartoon teeth that fit together like triangles. I deserve them.
Got that Vizzy Pops dysphoria. Please don't call it that, Preeve. I'm begging you. Sobbing at your feet. Don't ever call it that. How long does your ideal hug last?
38 to 45 minutes? Well, that's really impractical.
You said ideal, not realistic.
Honestly, we used to have hard rock, but now all we have is metal. What happened?
Me in the Bronze Age.
Ancient humans when the Stone Age ended and the Bronze Age began. Why do I even bother?
I don't know, Tumblr user Charles010. I think it's time to rock them like a hurricane. Like the jukebox hero you deserve to be.
New organs coming out soon. Medium intestine, gall kidneys, inferior vena cava, table of contents, semicolon, dire, opposite of liver, and pancreas too.
So I showed my mom this, a genuine doctor, and she says that the inferior vena cava is real, so I'm sorry, your post has been canceled, OP.
Yeah, well, this one is even more inferior. Just a dog shit vena cava. It sucks, I hate it, give me the real one.
Me eating a pile of nuts, cheese, and apple. Thirsty. The medieval peasant in my head watching me eat.
Thou knowest what will make us a meal. Dried fruits.
Me getting out the raisins.
God damn, Ethelred, you are so right.
Yet thou art not still hearing my words regarding the blasphemy.
Here at RPG Maker, we don't hate our game developers like Unity does.
If that's true, then why do you keep mailing me pipe bombs?
We hate in a different, more tangible way.
I have fruit polos and lollipops. Be jealous.
Oh my god, do many people not know what fruit polos are? They're heaven.
In America, we call them lifesavers. They can be chewy or hard candy.
Polos aren't chewy. They also come in mint.
This week on Britain Thinks It's Special.
Well, this week on America copies everything from Britain.
Lifesaver Candies was first created in 1912 by Clarence Crane. Polo Mints were developed by Roundtrees in 1939.
Well. This week on Britain Steals Things from Other Countries. It's time.
It's not time, it's fucking March. I don't want to see this.
It's time.
My brain is controlled by 2 rats and an earthworm. And I swear to God, I'm about to evict all 3 of them!
Is there any hatred stronger than the rage kids get towards Bonnie the dinosaur as soon as they are just a little too old for Bonnie the dinosaur? So this guy, Martin Pistorius, fell into a coma when he was 12 years old and eventually woke up completely paralyzed, at least physically. He was misdiagnosed. Doctors believe he was in a completely vegetative state, but in reality, he had regained full consciousness and awareness. He just didn't possess any motor function. So he couldn't communicate to anyone that he was alive in there. He lived this way for 12 years before he overcame it by sheer force of will and was given the tools to communicate. He tells this story in his book, Ghost Boy.
Yeah, you might be wondering what this has to do with Barney and the dinosaur. Stay with me. Don't make me get the jingle keys. Hold on.
Anyway, the breaking point that incited this plan of escape was being forced to watch Barney reruns all day, every day, at his care center. Sitting in front of the TV, he learned to tell the time by the shadows on the wall. If he had time, he could know when Barney would end. With the ability to measure his days, he was able to pull himself out of the void and ultimately start down the path to recovery.
Today, Martin can communicate whatever he wants with the help of a computer program, but there's one thing he can't articulate. I cannot even express to you how much I hated Barney. So it turns out that the primal hatred people have toward Barney is strong enough to pull a disembodied consciousness out of the abyss of existential despair and into the physical world out of pure spite. Do you think the PR Barney tried to spin that around to being like, see, we saved this guy's life? One time I dreamt aliens were really hostile and invading Earth, but nothing related to that was trending on Tumblr because some big fandom stuff had also happened. This is exactly how it would happen. Thinking about when my brother got chat banned from Overwatch and the email they sent him after he tried to appeal, it said, "We don't normally bring up the incriminating messages, but in this case, we feel it's necessary to show you what got you banned." And it was all shit like, "I will kidnap you in the desert and make you forget how to eat." Jesus Christ. Every time I move, I crunch like popcorn. And every time we kiss, I swear I could fly. Something that annoys me is people using Ugly Sonic being redesigned due to the mass outcry as a reason to bully companies into redesigning minor changes that most people won't care about. Take Shrek from Shrek 5. While the design is definitely worse, that's completely subjective, I think it's fine, then the original is recognizable as Shrek, and it's still not bad enough that general audiences will really care about it. What everyone is forgetting is that Ugly Sonic was just so horrible that even general audiences who don't give a focus about Sonic were complaining about how bad the design was, and how it only had vaguely similar design. Sega, who probably have the power to make Paramount redesign Sonic, included. Too Long Didn't Read bullying Paramount into redesigning Sonic only worked because the original Sonic design was so bad that nobody liked it. Also, let me put my tinfoil hat on for a second and just say that the hatred towards the Shrek redesign is like the most industry-planted hatred I have ever seen in my entire goddamn life. There's nothing wrong with it. His eyes are closer, that's it! The fuck is wrong with you people? Toddler was asked to feed the cat.
Disappointment.
Today I learned there is a famous stage play and film adaptation called A Streetcar Named Desire, which I discovered by searching up Streetcar Desire due to my deep carnal desire for streetcars. A deep carnal desire for cars of the streets, you say? Oh yeah, bad news. I think there's a perverterous sex car in your post. What? Get it off! Get it off! Not like that! Headcanon, Grunkle Stan knew that Gideon wasn't psychic from the moment he called him Stanford. Oh, Alex? Alex, did you do that? Did you do this on purpose, Alex? Nice freaking AI bros out here doing AI generated voices for their daily videos. Well, guess what? I can do that too. Check this out.
Some UI elements weren't aligned properly. We aligned them properly. The unbearable sleuth of 18 grizzly bears near the Legends Guild has been halved to the simple bare necessities. Tish. Players who use the "This is Democracy" emote on their ship might unintentionally send their fellow Helldivers on an unauthorized, unscheduled spacewalk. Fixed an issue where player ragdolling into the FRV would cause the vehicle to be yeeted into space. Slowed down the reproduction rates of chickens outside of coops, preventing the chicken uprising. Reduce the animal call limit in the conservatory to remove chickens where the uprising has already happened. Fixed a very science-why issue with quantum slimes. It would take at least 6 years of university plus a deep understanding of slime science to understand it fully, so we'll just call it the failure to duplicate phenomenon. Error noted. It is meant to say science-y. Now stop typing what you're going to say to me, Mr. Big Swinging Dick. Resolve the crash that could sometimes eventually occur when rapidly placing and selling a heli, then placing and selling a mortar, then placing and selling a heli, then placing and selling a mortar, then placing and selling a heli, then placing and selling a mortar, probably. Was the detector of this bug, let's game it out. The trucks no longer give you tinnitus. That ringing must be from something else. When a skin is banned, players with that skin
Will have their skin removed.
Next, we're working on shoplifters and beating them. And others. Shoplifters will be optional. I look forward to the Gang Grumps adding this into their playthrough and seeing Aaron
Suffer.
The egg is no longer unintentionally lost at the convenience store. Change the sleep margin to 30. Fixed instances where Rook forgot they already had the Lyrium dagger and could not interact with treasure chests and altars. Now Felguard is finally fixed. Hooray! Baby Toss now has a chance to crit. Fixed a crash if a smoked fish's original fish data no longer exists. You now get a delicious smoked
Error item.
instead. Fixed a shirt that looked weird. Why were there so many anime girl faces on it? It disturbs me. Sandy now sells basic pants in her shop. No commentary. Added straight title. It costs $9,999.
Insert credit card.
Serpent folk and merfolk can now ride motorcycles. Let's fucking go! Updated PD_Farmageddon. Revoked Scarecrow Gym membership, which lowered their health from 500 to 350. When other players around you equipped a prop that can be held, you'll now see it prop early. Tish. Hearthstone fixed a bug where if you conceded during Mr. Vista's Scenic Vista effect, it caused the background ambient sound effect to replay on loop into your next game. Nobody signed up for that long of a hike. And finally, baby patch notes. Crawling was removed as a developmental milestone. Walking alone was moved from 12 months to 15 months. Rolling was moved from 4 to 6. First word was moved from 12 months to 15 months. 2-year-olds are now expected to only use 2 words together rather than
Yo, baby's just got a huge nerve growing up. Mains were so big.
Oh, you actually thought the title was a joke? No, we're actually doing this, so buckle up, relax, and enjoy the facts. A poster on Reddit asks, one or two events that took place in the same time in history but don't seem like they would have. Spain was still a fascist dictatorship when Microsoft was founded. There were no classes in calculus in Harvard's curriculum for the first few years because calculus hadn't been discovered yet. 2 empires, Roman and Ottoman, spanned the entire gap from Jesus to Babe Ruth. When the pyramids were being built, there were still woolly mammoths. The last use of the guillotine was in France in the same year Star Wars came out. Oxford University was over 300 years old when the Aztec Empire was founded. Pablo Picasso died the year Pink Floyd released Dark Side of the Moon, 1973. Prisoners began to arrive in Auschwitz a few days after McDonald's was founded. Coca-Cola is only 31 years younger than Italy. Marilyn Monroe and Queen Elizabeth II were born in the same year. The Ottoman Empire still existed the same time Chicago Cubs won their World Series. I'm weirdly knowledgeable in the history of soda. I don't even drink soda. Why do I know so much about it? Coke and Pepsi taste different because Coke was invented before refrigeration, so it was designed to drink warm, while Pepsi was designed after refrigeration was invented and was designed to be drunk cold. As a result, the tastes are different. But if you drink Pepsi cold and Coke warm, they'll taste the same. Why the fuck do you know this? I honestly have no idea. Coke's recipe was originally green, but the designers made it brown so it looked more like tea. Have they never seen green tea? I don't even know if green tea was invented in 1886, but they wanted to make the public more open to eating the fizzy drink. Green tea was invented in the 13th century and made up 22% of the tea thrown off the ship in the Boston Tea Party. Alan, I know about soda, not green tea. I will trade you information about bees and carrier pigeons for information about the history of soda. No one knows where the origin of the name 7-Up started, but it did have a mood stabilizer in the original recipe found in present-day antidepressants. Now I want facts about bees and carrier pigeons now. Carrier pigeons come from a species of wild rock pigeon, and their flights could be as long as 1,800 kilometers and were used as early as 3,000 years ago. And you know in old cartoons where a character throws a beehive at someone and you think, well, that would never work in real life. Turns out it would. And did. People used to lob beehives at the approximate location of enemy forces to expose them. This is amazing, thank you. Jojo, do you have anything to say about these fun facts? Fantastic, thank you. My sister just told me that technically kangaroos had 5 limbs because their tail is classified as a leg, because they use that to propel themselves forward, which makes them the only pentapedal animal on Earth. She just told me that there's a frog that literally grows a spiky mustache and goes and fights other male frogs for a girlfriend. Turns out flamingos aren't actually pink. They're born gray but turn pink from the shrimp they eat. So my dudes, it turns out there's a flower that only blooms every couple years. And I know what you're thinking. Wow, it must be so beautiful. Turns out it smells like fucking corpses. What the fuck? Side fun fact, that's what Vileplume is based off of. My best friend just told me that frogs use their eyeballs to swallow their food by retracting them into their head and pushing the food down, and honestly, the most horrific thing I've ever heard. Isn't it creepy that from the day you're born you start to die? Actually, fun fact, if starting to die is defined as cells start dying at a faster rate than they are replaced, then you don't start dying the day you were born. You're still growing, and cells are still being replaced pretty quickly for about 22 to 25 years. So 25, that's when you start to die. Ask any 25-year-old and they will confirm. Intelligence officials thought they could use Castro's love of scuba diving to topple him. They planned to hide explosives inside a large seashell and paint it with exotic colors to lure the attention of the ocean-loving communist. I'm in tears over this, holy shit. Just a year after Castro seized power, the agency spiked the cigars with botulinum toxin strong enough to kill anyone who would put one in their mouth. The cigars were delivered to an unidentified person in 1961, according to the subcommittee, but it's unclear what's happened to them after that. The same year, the CIA planned to contaminate one of Castro's diving suits with a fungus that would produce a chronic and debilitating skin disease. In 1960, the CIA planned to sabotage Castro's speeches by spraying his broadcasting studio with a chemical that would make him suffer similar hallucinations to LSD. Other plots included spiking the dictator's scars with a chemical that would disorientate him, hoping he would smoke one before delivering one of his marathon oratory performances. And they also tried dusting his shoes with thallium salts, which would make Castro's iconic beard fall out. It's a little-known fact that in 60s and 70s, the CIA was actually run by a fucking wily coyote. Try to implement anything but a conservative's 6th grade education level of medieval Victorian times, and you will butt into this all the time. There was a literal fad in the 1890s for nipple rings for all genders. And no, it was not under the mistaken belief that it would help breastfeeding. There's a lot of doctors writing at the time telling people to stop, and they thought it would ruin the breast's ability to breastfeed well, etc. It was straight up because the Victorians were freaks. Okay, imagine trying to make a Victorian character with nipple rings. Imagine the accusations of gross historical inaccuracy. People just really have entrenched ideas of what people in the past were like. Tell them the Vikings were clean, had a complex democratic legal system, respected women, had free-form rap battles, and had child support payments, they'd call you a liar. Tell them chopsticks became popular in China during the Bronze Age because street food vendors were all the rage and they wanted to have disposable eating utensils, they'll say you're making that up. Tell them Native Americans had a trade network stretching from Canada to Peru and built sacred mounds bigger than the pyramids of Giza, you're some SJW twisting facts. Ancient Egypt had circular saws, depth cards, and eye surgery. Are you high? Our misconception of medieval peasants being illiterate and living in poverty and one-room mud huts being their own creation as a part of century-long tax evasion scam? You stole that from the Game of Thrones reject bin. Iron Age India had stone telescopes, air conditioning, and the number 0 along with all Arabic numbers, including algebra and calculus. I understand some of those words. You know, this post gets better every time it comes across my dash. To provide some more, the Romans also had vending machines, automated puppet plays, doors that opened to the sound of horns when you lit a fire in front of them, and working steam engines. All invented by one dude, the hero of Alexandria. People generally want to think that the Dark Ages is the sum of the entire history of the world. Charlemagne had a frigging pet elephant sent as a present by the Caliph over in Baghdad. Emperor Frederick II, around 1200, crossed the Alps with his own private zoo, including giraffes, in order to impress and dazzle his Germanic subjects, and it frigging worked. He also introduced legislation that a doctor was not allowed to also sell medicine to prevent obvious charlatanry, but had to write a recipe for an apothecary to then redeem, which is a system still in use in Germany and other countries. He spoke several languages, was tolerant towards his Muslim subjects in southern Italy, you read that correctly, and was opposed to trial by combat on reasons of it being unfair and irrational. Fun statistical fact: cows are about 300 times more likely to kill you than coyotes. Minor side note to statistical fact: if it was common for people to keep several hundred coyotes on their property and routinely chase them into a corral and handle them, this statistic would be very different. I love how humans have literally not changed throughout history. Like the graffiti from Pompeii has people from hundreds of years writing stuff like, "Marcus is gay, I fucked a girl here, Julius, your mom wishes she was with me." And Leonardo da Vinci's assistant drew dicks in their notebooks just for the banter. Not to mention Mozart created a piece called "Kiss My Ass." So when people wish for today's generation to be like how people used to be, then we were already there, buddy. We've always been. The Hagia Sophia had inscriptions that were considered sacred for centuries, until they were deciphered in the 70s to be Nordic runes saying, "Halfdan wrote this." My old English professor told us that there's a cave in Scandinavia where a Viking graffitied some runes like 14 feet up on the wall, and when they finally reached it, all it translated into was, "This is very high." Today I learned that the reason lead levels in children's blood has dropped 85% in the past 30 years is because of an unknown scientist who fought car companies to end leaded gasoline. He also removed it from paint, suggested its removal from pipes, and campaigned for the removal of lead solder from cans. Yet, it also correlates extremely strongly to an increasing decrease of violent crime. One of the symptoms of low-level constant lead exposure is increased aggression and volatility. Unknown scientist? That was Claire Cameron Patterson. Today, I learned prehistoric hunter-gatherer tribes had an average group limit of 50 people. Incidentally, modern research shows that in the video game World of Warcraft, maximum group player cohesiveness occurs at a limit of 50 players. Literally no difference between cavemen and WoW players. The day this was posted was Copernicus's 541st birthday. You may remember Copernicus as the man who said, "Hey, what if the Earth went around the sun?" To which the Catholic Church replied, "Hey, what if we set you on fire?" History brought to you by Tumblr. Fun fact, the reason that the plural of goose is geese, but the plural of moose is not meese, is because goose derives from the ancient Germanic word undergoing strong declension in the pattern of foot, feet, and tooth, teeth, where an oo is mutated to e. However, moose is a Native American word added to the English lexicon only 400 years ago, and lacks the etymological reason to be pluralized in that way. Oh baby, keep talking dirty to me. Lilo and Stitch is a great example of a story that has no villains. It has antagonists, sure, but most of them are well-meaning. The worst person in the film is that little shit Myrtle, but she's not in the film that much anyway. Since this post is getting traction, I want to clarify how not villainous the antagonists are. The Grand Councilwoman is literally just responding to what she sees as a threat to the galaxy and is extremely reasonable. Gantu is much the same. He's a bit overzealous, yes, but he thinks he's saving the galaxy from Stitch. Cobra Bubbles is literally doing his job. He's obviously not happy about it, but he is doing what he feels is best for Lilo, and much like the Councilwoman, is extremely reasonable. Myrtle is, again, just a little shit. She's a schoolyard bully, and is truly small potatoes in the grand scheme of all things. Jumba calls himself an evil scientist, but literally nothing supports that. His only on-screen crime is creating a bunch of Pokemon that have the powers that will mildly inconvenience people, and can be persuaded to be nice over the course of 22 to 90 minutes. To say nothing of himself, seeing as he decides to change his ways at the softest bit of persuasion. And Pleakley is literally just gay. Let's say your matrilineal line is fairly consistent and everyone has their daughter at 25. So, 4 women in your matrilineal line are born every 100 years. In 1,000 years, that's only 40. Like, the math is so simple, and yet, you don't think about it. So in 2,000 years, 80 women. So basically, 0 AD started roughly about 80 mothers ago. That's it. I'm a little drunk, I cannot deal with this right now. In 4th grade, I was introduced to the concept of run-on sentences by my teacher, and I immediately raised my hand and pointed out that none of these sentences being used as examples were actually grammatically wrong at all, and they were just longer than most people can comfortably write/read, and she made me sit in the corner, and I feel like that shows a lot in my typing style on this hell site. Run-on sentences are ADHD culture. If you're still here or still awake, thank you so much for listening. If you liked this kind of interesting take on the Tumblr ratings, do the YouTube thing, like, comment, subscribe, tell me what you think. Are there any facts that you feel could be contested? Let me know. With that, I'll see you all next time. If you excuse me, I got someone else's ASMR boyfriend to hit with my car. Bye.